In this video, highly reputable universities provide irrefutable evidence that your decisions are indeed contaminated.
Dr. Daniel Kahneman received the Nobel Prize for his work on behavioral economics. In the study, folks are asked to pick a ball from a bag with balls numbered from 1 to 100. Then they are asked how much they would pay for a bottle of champagne. But the experiment is rigged. In the first experiment, all the balls are marked 10. And in the second experiment, all the balls are marked with the number 65. How did they behave? Well, when they saw the number 65, the prices they were willing to pay ranged from $40 to $80. When all the balls were numbered with number 10, the prices they were willing to pay ranged from $7 to $20. What happened to their logic? Out of the window. They were primed and manipulated. An online furniture company tested the background of their websites. First, they displayed coins in the background. Then, they changed the background to a sofa in the clouds, depicting comfort. How did the people behave? Those who saw the coins searched for more economical furniture, and those who saw comfort searched for more comfortable furniture. What is noteworthy is that none of them noticed the coins or the clouds in the background. Again, they were primed and manipulated.
Is our personality in our DNA?
We've been able to look at the brain. We've been able to look at gene expression. We've been able to look at cell markers of aging, telomerase, telomere length. We can look at a blood sample and we can tell you if your mind is quiet or not. The epigenetic shows that your experiences now, which are not in your brain by the way, your experiences are not in your body, your experiences are in a non-local consciousness which is not in space-time. In Hawaii, they have these temples and cow farms. If a cow has been zapped electrically, the next generation of cows will not go to the fence. They already know it's electrical and they might get shocked. Okay. People have done experiments right here where you take mice and you have them smell wintergreen, which is a very pleasant smell. Then they get mild electrical shocks. The next 7 generations of mice will be scared by smelling wintergreen. Where is the seat of this personality? Where is it coming from?
So the question is it in our DNA? Do we have control or are we responding to someone else's behavior?
This is one of my favorite plots in social sciences. It's from a paper by Johnson and Goldstein. And it basically shows the percentage of people who indicate that they would be interested in giving their organs to donation. And these are different countries in Europe, and you basically see 2 types of countries. Countries on the right that seems to be giving a lot, and countries on the left that seems to be giving very little or much less. The question is why? Why do some countries give a lot and some countries give a little? When you ask people this question, they usually think that it has to be something about culture, right? How much do you care about people? Giving your organs to somebody else is probably about how much you care about society, how linked you are. Or maybe it is about religion. But if you look at this plot, you could see that countries that we think about as very similar actually exhibit very different behavior. For example, Sweden is all the way on the right, and Denmark, that we think is culturally very similar, is all the way on the left. Germany is on the left, and Austria is on the right. The Netherlands is on the left, and Belgium is on the right. Turns out the secret has to do with the form at the DMV. And here's the story. The countries on the left have a form at the DMV that looks something like this. Check the box below if you want to participate in the organ donor program. And what happens? People don't check and they don't join. The countries on the right, the ones that give a lot, have a slightly different form. It says check the box below if you don't want to participate. Interestingly enough, when people get this, they again don't check, but now they join.
Let's look at the use of ghost options to influence your decision.
Here are 2 examples of this principle. This was an ad from The Economist a few years ago that gave us 3 choices. An online subscription for $59, a print subscription for $125, or you could get both for $125. I took this and I gave it to 100 MIT students. I said, what would you choose? And these are the market share. Most people wanted the combo deal. Thankfully, nobody wanted the dominated options. But now, if you have an option that nobody wants, you would take it off. right? So I printed another version of this when I eliminated the middle option, and I gave it to another 100 students. Here's what happens. Now the most popular option became the least popular, and the least popular became the most popular. What was happening is that option that was useless in the middle was useless in the sense that nobody wanted it. But it wasn't useless in the sense that it helped people figure out what they wanted. In fact, relative to the option in the middle, which was only the print for 125, the print and web for 125 looked like a fantastic deal. And as a consequence, people chose it. The general idea here, by the way, is that we actually don't know our preferences that well. And because we don't know our preferences that well, we're susceptible to all of these influences from the external forces.
What we do in our experiment, we very briefly expose people to a warm or cold substance. And what we expect to happen is that that simple experience with a warm substance or a cold substance will prime people to sort of activate these feelings of warmth and comfort and the things that we've learned about since we were very young.
Volunteers for the experiment are asked to hold a warm cup of coffee as they are met by Lawrence. They have been primed with heat. The purpose of the experiment is to record participants' judgments about Lawrence's colleague, Randy. And here's the killer question. Would you give Randy a permanent job?
Based on your brief interaction with Randy, or would you hire him as project manager?
So like a generally, sure, yes, friendly guy. So yeah, I would say.
Yeah, why not?
Saying warm things about a stranger might just be the normal polite response. Time to cool things down. Except for the temperature of the drink. Identical conditions. The same conversation with Randy. And 6 minutes later, the same questions from Lawrence.
Based on your brief interaction with him, would you recommend him or would you hire Randy as project manager?
As a leader, I'm not sure. Based on the brief interaction, no.
Maybe not from the impression that I got.
The experiment shows, remarkably, that a brief encounter with a beverage could see you either hired or fired. It's a powerful effect.
Conclusions: how we are manipulated and how our decisions are contaminated. Priming, even with an unrelated subject, can influence our decisions. We recall the example of a number on a ping pong ball and the price we would pay for the champagne bottle. Subliminal messaging. The backgrounds on the website influence the way we reacted. There is strong evidence that our DNA plays a dominant role in how we decide. We recall the 7 generations of mice who were scared by the smell of wintergreen. Meaningless ghost options are introduced to shift our attention. In fact, this technique is used extensively by many retailers. We also saw how temperature seems to have an impact on how we decide. At a business meeting, we suggest you serve hot drinks, and if you're on a date, order a salad instead of a hot soup. Question: how many of you agree that your decisions could be affected by these types of human tendencies? Behavioral scientists tell us where, how, and why we go wrong, but they don't really tell us how we can minimize the impact of such failings. This is our role. We help people make better, defensible decisions. I encourage you to visit our website, expertus.com, where you will find more interesting videos and insightful reading. Do connect with me on LinkedIn and email me if you have any questions. Thank you.